Hey, good evening, my sweet and wonderful Kit-Kats. How is everybody on this fine Take Credit Tuesday? You are catching me this evening on the Shopping Experience Tuesday in the Artist Lounge Marketplace. How about that? I got it all out. If you're seeing the red portion of the video, you're catching me live. Otherwise, you might be catching me on the replay. If you don't mind, just pop in your comments, #replay, so that I know you were here. And while you all are hopefully trickling on in, I am going to try to find myself here on the tablet, do a little sharing myself. If you feel so inclined and comfortable doing that, sprinkling me out helps greatly, and I appreciate it very, very much. So let's see if I can't do a little of that here. When you come on, say hello so I can give you a big old welcome. We're going to have some fun tonight, guys. I hope you're excited. I know I am. All right, let's see here. A little sprinkle. To and fro. What has everybody's day been like? Tell me all the good things if you feel like sharing. Good to go. Hi, my sweet Donna Sue. How are you, dear? So good to have you. Hi, beautiful Lori. All right, I'm sprinkled and good to go. I like to have my tablet up these days because sometimes comments don't work. And if that were to be the case, at least I can look over there and see them. So come on in, everybody. This is my debut of these beautiful journal kits that were made for us by Corey at Creative Roots Art and Mary at the Painted Peach. There she is right in the comments. So if you are interested in any of the digital prints that are available, including the kits, I do have the Ko-fi link. Ko-fi, I'm not sure if that's how you say it. It is in my link tree. And if you need my link tree, it's !, Linktree, LINKTREE, no spaces, everything's lowercase. Hi, sweet Donna. So this is the shopping experience every Tuesday, and we are being sprinkled over into the Artist Lounge Marketplace. Up after me this evening is Teresa with Artistic Treasures by Teresa. And there she is in the comments. Hey, girl. Hi, Risha. How are you? Hi, beautiful Vicky. So we are going to work with a beautiful journal kit tonight. It's going to take a bit to finish the kit, so we definitely won't get it done this evening, but we'll get a good start on it. And then if you are so inclined and would like to come back and watch us finish it as we go along. Hey, sweet Denise. Hi, Tamara. Nice to see you, dear. I would love to have you back to show you, the steps to finish it. So this is just going to be a nice little 5-page journal. We're going to start out small because I am still super new and a little bit green to journaling myself. So I'm picking up things along the way. I watch a lot of different crafters. I try to tuck things away or write them down, little tips and tricks and all the things. Hi, sweet Corey. Thank you so much. So we are shared over into the Artist Lounge Marketplace. If you are not a part of that group, I would love for you to check it out. You can see the creators that went on before me. Hey, sweet Carrie. There's my beautiful Giselle. How are you, little snow lady? And the rest of the creators for this evening. If you go to the Artist Lounge Marketplace after each is done, just refresh your page and you'll be able to see the next one once they get them sprinkled in. Okay. So we are going to work with a kit this evening that is called the Blue Angel Journal Kit that was created by Mary at the Painted Peach. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the other ones. I'm just going to kind of show you a brief little synopsis of each one of them that I printed out what they're called in case you're interested. And again, you can find all of these beautiful kits as well as so many other digital downloads that you can get at the Ko-fi shop. The link is in my link tree. And if Mary or Corey want to put it in the comments here, that would be fine if you're able to. Otherwise, please check it out. Hey, sweet Robbie, I'm so glad that you're here. Hi, Debbie. Okay, so this one right here is called Reflection, and this was painted by our sweet Corey. It's your favorite? I had no idea I would love it as much as I am, but I am loving it. So I hope this will inspire you to try something like this. Just doing a little 5-page journal I think will be kind of nice. But in the digital download that you get, this is one of the pages. Then you have some fun little things that you can cut apart for tags. You can use some of those as pockets. Hi, Mom. How are you? We have some tags here. And oftentimes what I do, guys, here's some pockets. You get a left and a right. Is on things that I know might show, I will go ahead and print my first page. And then when I'm done and I see my background choices or what have you, I can flip my paper over in my printer and print a little something on the back side so that you already have a decorative, background on there if you want to. Hey, Tammy. Hi, Diane. You don't have to do that. There's other things that you can do to help fill in that white space if it bothers you. And those are things that we can cover down the road, but just a little suggestion. I'm going to talk about a few things as we're kind of going along too, and we're using them and why I like them. But it is just, like I said, my own little personal opinion. This is just one way to do it. Hey, sweet Jamie. There are many, many, many ways. So this isn't necessarily the right way. It's just a way. Okay. Then this is called Flowers of Healing. And I believe Corey did this one also. I love the blues on there. So same thing, you get some pockets, so pretty. And if you purchase more than one of the kits, and you'll see that I printed on some, put some backgrounds on as well that were from other kits. So if you have ever purchased digital downloads or you have those kind of things kind of in your collection, you can certainly flip your paper over and put a little something, something on the back side if you like, but you can stencil on the white. You can add your own scrapbook paper or bits and things like that of other papers that you might have available. So feel free to do that. Also, if you didn't do that on the kit tonight, that is absolutely no problem. We're going to put it together in such a way that hopefully we don't have to necessarily do that. Then this one, so beautiful. This was by Mary. It's called The Big Day. It's Mary at the Painted Peach, for those of you who aren't familiar. And then Corey at Creative Roots Art. So they actually painted these. So beautiful. And I appreciate them so very much for taking into consideration some of the suggestions that I had. I am by no means an avid journaler, but I'm doing my best to learn. Isn't that beautiful? I think so too, Jamie. The colors are so pretty. And then your little pockets. Yeah. So I would encourage you to check out the Ko-fi link and see what's all out there. You cannot beat the price for what you get. You print these yourself. They're digital downloads. Tonight, we're going to work with a kit called the Blue Angel. And hopefully some of you saw it posted on my page. Well, thank you so much, sweet Corey. So 5 pages is kind of what we're going to work with tonight. And I have already folded all the pages, but I'm just going to show you the ones that I use. Now, this came from a different kit. You print whatever 5 pages you want. If you want to do just what comes with the Blue Angel kit, or if you purchase a couple of them, or you have other images saved that you want to print on your backside, you could do that, or add, you don't necessarily have to print on the back side of these the way that we're going to put together. So if you wanted something different in there, feel free to do so. This is from another kit. I myself always love a music page background. Okay, so all the pages that I printed, if there was any white along the edges, I cut that off either with your scissors or your little paper trimmer. And then you want to fold them into each other. And what I do is use a little bone folder. This was all new to me too when I first started. If you don't have one of these, you can get them very inexpensively on Amazon. Otherwise, you can use a little butter knife, like a cheese spreader, a small ruler. All of those things will work too in case you don't have the gadget, okay? But I will tell you what I've learned along the way is it does make a difference to flatten out your edges nicely and give them a good crisp edge. It just kind of makes everything else look super nice and finished off. So I've done that to 5 different pages. This is my page number 1. I have this beautiful page as my number 2. And you put them in whatever, order that you'd like them. Hey, Tammy. So I folded it into itself. Right along the crease here, use your little bone folder or whatever you have to flatten that edge. so that you have a nice crisp line there, right? Let me keep these where I want them. Here is my number 3. I think this might have been from another kit also. So I really wanted to show you that it can be super versatile. You can use pieces of other things that you have. I love that. In fact, I would make a whole journal out of that if I could, and I can, right? Once you purchase that kit, it is yours. So you can print as many times as you like. This was from another kit also. Such a pretty little background. So this is my page number 4. Okay. And then here is my page number 5. I just think these all go together beautifully. Hey, Pamela, how are you, sweetheart? And I folded that into itself and creased my edge really well, okay? So I have 5 pages here, and I will do my very best to keep up on comments and kind of walk you through my process here. Thank you guys so much for the hearts. I don't want to rush anybody, and I don't want to rush myself. I think it is a good idea to take our time and enjoy what we're doing, right? Boom Belair, welcome back. How are you? Did you tell me your name the other day? And I missed it. I'm so sorry if you did. All right, so I have my 5 pages. They're stacked on top of each other, just like so. Then for my cover, which we don't need to work with right now, I have the main page, the Blue Angel kit. Thank you, Donna Sue. And I have also just kind of folded that in the center, okay? Then I cut out all of my items ahead of time. So whatever needs trimming, if you have white on the edges, all my little tags that came in that kit, I've cut them all out. You'll notice that I sometimes have a little white edge. Isn't that pretty, Vicki? I think so too. A little white edge that maybe I'm not the best at this fussy cutting they talk about it. Boom. Okay. Well, thank you so much for telling me. I'm glad they have you. And so on the back of my tags, once I printed everything, I flipped my paper and put this gold on the back. That is optional. You do whatever you want to do. If you didn't do that this evening and you purchased the kit, it is absolutely okay. I will try to give you things you can do along the way if you want to cover the white that might be showing on the back of your tags, okay? Thank you, Pamela. So I printed that all. I printed a few of the pockets, and it looks like I printed, did I print the same? No, that should be right. A left and a right. And then I also printed a separate sheet of the pockets on the music paper. Hey, Karen, nice to see you. All right, so I did a little bit ahead of time, and we'll do some together. So not to get ahead of ourselves, some really good things to have on hand if you want to start journaling, even if you aren't sure that you're really going to like it. I hope that you do, is some sort of waterless glue like Fabri-Tac. I love. I think that many people use, is it a Beacon 3-in-1 glue works good. Any kind of paper glue works great. And I hear that the art glitter glue works awesome too. I'd like to get that myself. It does not have glitter in it. That's just what it's called, but it has a nice fine little tip on it. Otherwise, you can purchase bottles that have a nice little tip and put your Fabri-Tac or whatever into it. All right. Then I picked up some little clips from the dollar store. These will be helpful as we get going into kind of decorating and putting the ephemera on the pages. Ephemera is just little pieces of this and that. It can be receipts. It can be, little kits that you purchase at Hobby Lobby, like Tim Holtz has all kinds of things. It could be, thank you, Carrie. It could definitely be junk. Junk journaling is how it started, right? So things that you get in the mail or postcards or pieces of cards that you've saved and you've cut apart, you can use all those things. You can make it non-themed. You can make it a theme, whatever you like. There are no rules as far as that goes. Barely art glue is good. Okay, good. Thank you so much for putting that in there. I appreciate it. If you can get a little bone folder, it does help quite a bit, and it's super reasonable. Some sort of ink. I myself did not ever know what all this inking was about, and now I love it so much. So I use several different kinds. I do like the Ranger permanent ink, the one we're going to use tonight. This is in the color sepia. I use the black. I use the Tim Holtz Distress inks. The vintage photo is really pretty also. Yes, I can't wait to see it, my sweet Donna Sue. And then you need something to put your ink on. So you can get these. You can get these little guys. I have my preferences on why I like some versus the others. Whatever you like. They even have little small ones like this at Hobby Lobby. And then these just come off. And you can get little replacements so that you can, hi Sarah, hon. Using it today, love inking. Me too, it's so much fun. I can sit here and do it for hours. So I try to use a different little spongy head applicator for each color to kind of keep it separate. Hi Lori. It's a great way to express yourself like a diary. I think so too. And I think a lot of people say, well, what do you do when you're done with these? You could definitely gift them to somebody and have some spots in your journal where people can actually journal and write in. You could keep one for yourself and maybe you make a travel journal and you keep in there some of the receipts to the places you've been, ticket stubs, some pictures that you printed out. Hey, sweet Stephanie, hon, any of those things. I often thought that myself too. So I like to try to include some spots to write in. I think it's important if we're going to make these beautiful things that we actually use them. And then a really nice little pair of smaller scissors for fussy cutting works great. Get yourself a good pair. I got these on Amazon. I'm happy to link them if anybody is interested. My sweet Robin told me about these from Robin's Song. They are fantastic. I know our sweet friend Victoria likes to use a set like this. Yes, for the grandbabies. I like this one too. It's spring loaded. Mine needs some help with it because it does not open and shut nicely. So my edges get kind of jaggedy when I use this one. It's not my favorite until I kind of fix it, I think. Okay. Then if you have availability to get a corner punch, hi Rita, hun. It is amazing. This one came from Amazon. It has a small, medium, and a large. So it's, kind of about whatever size you want your corner rounder. Excuse me. That's what it's called. Hi, Jen. Thank you. And good therapy. It really is. I couldn't agree more. So definitely worth getting a corner rounder if you want to. Embroidery scissors work great too. That's a great idea. Hi, Susan. Nice to see you, sweetie. Thank you for the sprinkle, Rita. All right. So here's what we're going to start with. You don't necessarily have to get all your embellishing and things like that together for today. We're going to kind of focus on getting our pages put together. There's 5 of them here. And then putting in some of the pockets, talking about tags and a few things like that. We only have until 6 p.m. Central. So I'm going to stop talking and we're going to get to getting, okay? So first things first, what I do is after you've folded your pages in, like I showed you, okay? I put them in the order in which I want them. And then on the very little corner here, I just take a pencil or a pen, you're never going to see it, and mark my pages 1 through 5. All right. So that's in my little right-hand bottom corner because everything's backwards here. So I have 5 pages here. So to start, we're going to take pages 1 and 2. Thank you for the sprinkle. I appreciate it. We're going to take our Fabri-Tac. On the cover of page 2, so my little number 2 is down here, we're going to put our glue. I try not to put it too close to the edge just because it will, splay out a little bit when you're pushing your paper on top of it. So I don't get too close to the edge. I like Fabri-Tac. It is a bit more expensive, but it holds so well. You do have a little bit of working time before it completely grabs on you, so you can move it if needed. If you put a little too much down, you can kind of use your finger to, it'll like roll up in a ball and you can swipe it away. Hi, Natalie. All right, so that's page 2. Now I have page 1. Thank you, Mom. I appreciate it. And we are going to affix page 1 on top of page 2. So we're going to line up our edges here on the side that would be like your binding. Thank you, Natalie, hon. Swept up the kitty litter. I'm sure there's some up there right now. If you don't get these perfectly lined up, thank you, Teresa. don't worry about it. Don't stress, okay? There's gonna always be some trimming, I feel like, that we have to do. It just happens, right? So if you look and you see that you've got some overhang here or a little bit on the side where you can kind of see that paper, this is the time that you can go in and trim that. So now I have already page 1 and 2 together. They're just glued. Hey, sweet Phyllis, there's my beautiful Debbie. So I will kind of open them and look and say, okay, right here, I know it's hard for you to see it. It doesn't have glitter in it. I often thought that too, like, what is the deal with this glittery glue? It does not. But here's where you could do any trimming. So if you see a little of that white edge, I just take my scissors and carefully make any little adjustment to that. You can use your paper trimmer, whatever you like. Okay, so now I have, make sure I did that right, page 1. That's why I mark it, so I can always look and make sure. And I have page 2. I like my corners rounded. If you don't and you want to keep them straight, this is not something you would have to do. But I take my little corner rounder, and now I come in and round my corners here. It's very, very satisfying. And then you just have that round corner as opposed to the straight one that you see there. Thank you, Jamie. So let's do that back page after we get the next one attached. Okay. So now I'm taking page 3. We have 1 and 2. Here's page 3. We're going to do that very same thing. Put your fabric tack down. There are some really good journalers out there, so I know some of you are here watching. I hope I do my sweet Corey and Mary some justice here with our journal. This would be considered a no-sew journal, and we can either put it into like a hardcover book that I've been doing that quite a bit lately, that I take that book block out of all the pages and I use the hardcover. We don't have to do that at all on here if we don't want to. We can just keep this a nice 5-page, sweet little journal that we can cover at the end, and I'll show you when we get to that part in the process. So we're lining up our edges again as best as you can, and then just smoothing it all out. Hi, Melissa. Hey, Doris, how are you? So nice to have you guys all with me. I appreciate it so very much. All right, now I've got page 1, 2, and 3 here. I'm opening it up and I'm kind of looking, do I need to do any trimming? Do I have any white that's kind of hanging out? You don't have to get as detailed. It's up to you. When we ink our pages, thank you, Doris. Thank you, sweet Corey. That's going to help cover some of those edges. Good frigid evening to you, my sweet Danielle, with 15 inches. Oh my gosh. Please stay safe, my dear friend. Anybody else who's kind of, you know, getting hit with all the nasty weather and the cold. Ugh. I'm looking on the bottom too for any of that little white edge. And I'm just making, you know, my best attempt to get rid of that, okay? If you miss some of it, it is no big deal. Hey, sweet Robin, nice to see you. There's my beautiful Lynette. All right. Always go back to your page 1. I think it's a really good idea to label them. Make sure everything's as you want it. And then come in and cut your corners again, round your corners. Oops. There is a little thrifty store that I often talk about with all of you called Hello Happiness. They have tons of those little corner cutters and all the other pretty little things that you can get if you want to make a pretty stamp on some of your pages. Brads to secure them. That's good to know, Laurie. Good. I didn't know that. I didn't even think about that. Tammy, we did not get any snow, actually. We just have the super, super cold temps, but no snow. And I'm not sad about it. Okay, so you can kind of see what we're doing here. Glue a page, round your corners, you know, cut off any excess little white that you might be able to see. Now we're going to do the next page. So we're on to doing page number 4. This is my page 4. We're going to do that same thing. Use your Fabri-Tac. I get mine off of Amazon. I want to say it's 2 for $20. That's what my last purchase was, I believe. You could use a glue stick. That works fine too. I know there's some that people prefer. Is it the Scotch brand, I think, is one of them, and I cannot recall the other one. So our fold is always on the left. Well, Tammy, that would be so sweet. Thank you. Thank you so much. Line up your fold. You do have, like I said, a little bit of time with your Fabri-Tac, so you can, if you really lined it up terribly and you want to take it off, you have a little time to do that. It is for paper and fabric, not just fabric, right? Hi, Rosalind. How are you doing, dear? But when it does, people dries it. Oh, my God. Looks like you all need to do a stay home and craft or make journals, right, Phyllis? Isn't that crazy? 2 feet. Nor'easter coming this weekend with winds and another foot of snow. Oh, my gosh, Lori. Hi, Roger. How are you doing, dear? Nice to have you. Going back in, just taking a look at my pages again. Don't worry if you find you need to do some trimming. There's probably not very often where you aren't going to have to. So I think it's pretty common from what I'm seeing and hearing that trimming is okay. And I guess it depends on how perfect and even you want it, right? Purple glue sticks, but dries clear. Okay, good to know. I'm going to have to go back and write down all of these things. Thank you so much for the hearts, guys. I appreciate it. How are you doing today, Roger? What is your weather like? And you just want to check kind of from all angles, bottom, top, and sides. Okay. If you're happy with that, now you come in and round your corners. There's another glue stick. I think it begins with a U. Of course, when somebody told me about it last, I did not write it down like I should have. Oh, I love those hearts. Thank you so much. So it just looks so nice to have your corners rounded like that, in my opinion. You do you though, right? All right, I noticed a little white on this one that I want to cut. So you can kind of see as I'm, moving my pages and flipping them back and forth, it's easy to confuse myself on what is up, what's down, all the things, right? Thank you, Rosalind, darling. Down south and in Tennessee, I would not want the ice either. After our snow, it's cold, isn't it? I hate the cold. It hurts. It just hurts. So when I'm done doing that, I always go back to my page 1 that I marked down here just to make sure I'm still on track. Yes, that's the one. UHU glue stick. Isn't that pretty? I like that one too. This one. And I don't think this was from the Blue Angel kit. I have to check again. Hey, Terry. We have the frigid temps, my darling, but no snow. We didn't get any of the snow. I'm so glad about that. But I was telling earlier, in case you missed that part, you can mix and match from any kits, or from, if you want to add more than 5 pages, either print these several times or add in what you already have from something else. That is okay too. As I'm learning, I think it's best to start out small. I'm so glad I kept we had snowstorm on Sunday. Isn't it good to sometimes look back in your stash and say, hey, I have one of those. Hi, my beautiful Vera Lynn. How are you feeling? All right, now we're on the last page. This is my page number 5. Hi, sweet Amanda. That's okay, Patricia. So nice to have you. I spelled it. It cost a lot. Does it really? What is the paper you use to make 5 pages? I'm so sorry I didn't mention that. It is cardstock. and I use 65-pound cardstock. Now, on some of the tags and things, if you don't want to use the cardstock, you can print it on regular copy paper. I just find them to be a little bit more flimsy when you're trying to ink and all the things. But you could also put the tags then on scrapbook paper if you have something that you like better, and cut them out so that they're, front and back have a pretty design on it. And it feels in the negatives. Yes. Cardstock is actually thicker, Sweet Tammy, than scrapbook paper. Let me grab the pack I just picked up today because I was out. Hold on one second. Just to give you an idea. Sometimes I order from Amazon. I didn't have time. I needed it. So this is the one I got from Hobby Lobby, and it says 65-pound cardstock. They have white. They have a cream color. You're so welcome. Absolutely. There's only 50 sheets in here. And I think this was the last one I ordered from Amazon. 65-pound cardstock. It's just got a little bit more weight to it. It holds up quite a bit better, in my opinion. You might find as you're, doing things with your journal, maybe you only do your covers or something in the cardstock and your pages, and then your ephemera or your tags and such. You don't necessarily have to print on that. You're welcome. My pleasure. And if I don't know, I will find out for you, or someone here in the comments will help us, I'm sure. All right, so this is my page number 5. And I just make sure my little number is down here and that my binding or my fold is on the left. Hopefully I'm using the right terminology here. And then I line up my edge there, flip it over and kind of push down on your page. If you buy the pads from Michael's, it's usually heavy paper. Okay, I've seen it there. From Staples too. They even have it at Walmart. Good to know. Thank you guys so much for putting that in there. It's helping all of us learn together, right? All right, now I'm going to go back and look. Do I have anything I want to trim? I usually do, even if it's just a little bit. I do find it makes a nice difference just to keep a really nice, clean looking journal. Then look at the bottom. I scored a little paper scorer. I don't even know if that's what you call it. Right here, a couple of weeks ago for 99 cents, new in the package from the thrift store, which is super happy. Oh, it's at Walmart also. Really good to know. Thank you so much. Okay, good to know. Thank you guys for putting that all in there. So we're going to get to scoring here in just a moment. If you don't have one of these, where it lets you, use these as a guide to score your papers, you can use your paper cutter. That's what I did for the longest time. Okay, good. Thank you, Jamie. And I would just line it up here in my paper cutter and score it. I didn't think scoring was important, but I really do think it is, and it makes a nice difference. And I'll show you why. Okay, so I'm going to flip over this particular one. A couple of the other ones that I've made, and it's only been a couple, so like I said, I'm not an expert at all. I went ahead and put lace. Hi, Mary Jane. Hi, Audrey. You need one of those. They're amazing. It works really good, actually, and I like it because it's smaller. So on all the page edges, I ended up putting lace, and I affixed it into a book cover where I took the pages out, like I was saying. This one, we're not going to do that to, because I just wanted to kind of show you that you can make yourself a basic, really beautiful little journal, even if it only has 5 pages. And I think it would be fun for a gift, for a sister, for a brother. You can do one in, fishing, hunting, all the things. 110 pound. Wow. But you bought a separate one too. So put in the comments here if you are a journaler, or if you're kind of just starting, or maybe you're just interested to see what it's all about. I'd just be curious. All right, let's round our corners. And thank you all so much for putting in the comments all the great information. I appreciate it so much. Okay. then I just kind of give it a once over. It does not have to be like super, super perfect. You know what I mean? Hi, my beautiful Regina. How are you? You agree? I'm glad, sweet Debbie. Debbie is fun to watch journaling. Hi, my beautiful Robin. So good to see you. All right, so this is what we have. And you can kind of see, you're able to count how many pages we have in there. 5 pages. Thank you, Diane. You do paper crafts. Okay. Hey, beautiful Jackie. How are you doing, dear? Thank you for joining me. So now that we have our pages in there and we've glued them together, we've kind of trimmed off the excess, we've rounded our corners. Now we're going to ink these. And I'm going to use the sepia here. I don't know if any of you have better suggestions. These get so yucky to me. You're a junk journaler. I knew you were, sweetheart. When you're using these to ink your pages, I find a lot of this stuff like flakes off and it drives me crazy. Is there a better brand than the other, or do I need to just put a new, little sponge on the top when it gets to that point? You just started making one, Regina? I'm so glad. Ephemera to put in it. Robbie, yours are beautiful. I know, but Debbie, yours are gorgeous. Just gorgeous. All right, so I'm flipping back to my page number 1, and I'm just gonna ink up all of the edges. It is so much fun. You use a makeup brush. I have ones like these. I just find they're not quite like stiff enough, where I can get as much on there as I want to. And you're not really going to see this page 1, but I do it anyway. And then you just keep going on every page, do the edges. Of course, there's tons of colors of ink out there. So like say on this beautiful Blue Angel kit, if I had some sort of a blue I wanted to use instead, you could definitely do that. And I like my corners a little bit darker. I prefer kind of that vintagey look. I know you are, Jamie Hahn. I've been gathering the supplies needed. I'm so glad you have. Let me see what else you said there. But still need more. You can get I'm so glad you found me too. You can get a lot of things from a dollar store if you have one near you. You make cards. Okay, good to know. Felt that I cut from felt sheets and changed them when they get yucky. It's much cheaper. That's a great idea, Teresa. Thank you for telling me. Phyllis, that is amazing. Why didn't I think of that? Thank you for sharing. Okay. Do you have problems with the Beacon fabric fix coming out? I haven't used that one lately. Hi, Joanne. Midnight by You. I'm so glad to have you. Hey, sweet Paula. We are working on the basics of a junk journal. You're not too good at it. I bet you are more amazing at it than what you think. We're our own worst critics, right? I know I am. So we are just inking up our edges. We are sprinkled into the Artist Lounge Marketplace this evening for Shopping Experience Tuesday. So if you aren't part of the Artist Lounge Marketplace, love for you to check it out. You'll be able to see Teresa up after me with Artistic Treasures by Teresa. And then you can watch replays, of course, for so long, right? 30 days of everyone else who is live today. And this is my month. January is my month to kind of debut something fun and amazing that Corey and Mary made, painted, put together all the things. So I can't thank you, sweet ladies, enough. I appreciate it so much. Poor Mary, I was messaging her back and forth and making some suggestions and things. And only the little bit that I know. She was so gracious and kind to make all those changes with me. Let's see. Are you being silly that you didn't know Jamie journaled? No, you're being silly. I'm using Fabri-Tac, my sweet Rita. It is my favorite. All right. So I myself like the distressing. If you're just starting out and you think, I don't really want to put in, all the expense, which it isn't so bad. You could get by with one ink and just use that for most of your things. I find I'm always reaching for that one or the vintage photo, but there are so many pretty colors out there. Okay, I thought so. I was like, wait a second, I've seen you on her lives. Sometimes my blondness comes out, I guess. Isn't this one pretty? I just love that. Gotta love your Fabri-Tac, right? Giselle, are you on tonight, my darling? Are you taking a trek to the cottage? All right, we're getting there, guys. And this way, any white that we missed that might be kind of showing, the ink really, really helps to hide that. It just gives it a pretty edge to it. Okay. I don't know why, but I just like the corners a little bit darker. We're getting down there. So it's initially when you're just kind of putting something together, it's kind of laying out the pages that you want, doing the folding, all the things, right? Cutting your corners, gluing them together if you decide to do it this way. And then inking, putting in some pockets, some side pockets, some belly bands. Aren't those fun things to say? Thank you, Rita. Thank you so much for those stars. I appreciate that greatly. You have to do offload before applying. You have used wax on your paper. I have as well, sweet Sarah, and it is a lot of fun. And it is super fun to use either your distressed inks or your archival ink, and you can put it through a stencil. So you can make some of the backs of your tags, if they are white, look a little bit, just a little bit prettied up if you so choose to. I like doing the stencils, or even just taking a little bit of my ink and toning down the white, if you will. You're above freezing today. Isn't that crazy? Thank you, Jen. This is a beautiful kit called Blue Angel. Now, I do use some of the papers here from the other kits that are out there in the Ko-fi shop. The link is in my link tree. If you use the code word KAT, K-A-T, you can get 10% off. Cat like Keli-Kat. And honestly, the price is right, in my opinion. I know sometimes it's hard if you don't have a printer, to do all the things. Let's go back here and find my page 1 again. See how I'm getting myself all upside down. There we go. From Creative Memories, their products are awesome. Oh, thank you. Good to know that. Also, if you have an embosser, I've done some embossing, but not for quite some time. Thank you, Vera Lynn, hun. Gosh, we only have 20 minutes together. Hi, Mary Beth. Thank you all so much for being here. If I missed you coming on, I appreciate it greatly. So then I kind of look at the top and I don't see any white, which tells me I've done a pretty good job inking. I do the same thing on my pages. I look to see if I see any white. And so far, everything looks great. Okay, then on some of the things that you print out, like say your little pockets, you can call me Keli-Kat, that's what you should. I am so glad, my beautiful Debbie. It is so much fun. So this little scoring board came with this little guy. It attaches right up here on the top. Otherwise, you can use your little bone folder, whatever you like. And all the little grooves that it has in it are what we need. So what I had Sweet Mary change for us on some of these prints here is putting a little shaded area so you know where to score this. And oftentimes, guys, when I saw people doing this, I'm like, what is the purpose of these lines and why do we do it? why don't we just cut these off and glue it down? You know, these help when we fold them for your paper to kind of stick out just a little bit so that you have a nice spot to tuck things in your pocket versus gluing it down flat. You could still do it. This just makes it easier. So where that little shaded line is, you're going to line that up inside one of the grooves on here. Take your little scoring tool. Isn't it? I agree, Danielle. You don't want to push super hard or you will like rip and cut your paper. Just scoring it, okay? Danielle, I'm so happy to have you, darling. Are you a journaler by chance? So I'm going on all those shaded lines where you can see that, hey, they want us to fold this here. Don't be too hard on yourself if it is not 100% perfect, but now you can see where you should fold, and it does make a really nice difference. Okay, so then come in here and fold in on all of those little scoring lines, and then always come back with your little bone folder, your little butter knife, your ruler, whatever you have, and you're just kind of pushing down on the areas where the fold is to make it nice and flat. So that's what we have there. Don't worry if a little bit of that shows. You can either cut it if you don't like that little shaded area, or when you ink it, that will help to hide it. Okay, and that's what the back looks like, folded nicely. So I've done that on 2 of these already with the music notes. I've done one like this, and we'll do this last one together too. So this one, I think I started scoring. You'll be able to see once you have the kit in your hands, it's a lot easier than probably what you see on camera. So I just put it right into one of those little grooves. Make sure it's lined up on the top and bottom, and just gently score it there. It's nice when the kits have that shading, kind of takes the guesswork out of it for you. YouTube videos of people journaling. Isn't it fun, Danielle? I wish I had more time to do it, to sit down and watch. Usually it's at night. I'm going to take my little bone folder and just make my creases really nice and sharp. So yeah, it seems to be at night when I have the most time, or when I can't sleep, which is quite often. Okay. Also, I wanted to show you that just with this first page, we could make ourselves a little folio if we wanted to. Thank you, Vicki. Where I just folded this in thirds. I printed on both sides, whatever your little heart desires, right? And we could do a little folio by folding it in thirds and doing all the decorating and all the things too. And this would be so fun to send to somebody. You could include a little gift card in there if it's a gift. Hi, Eva, nice to see you. So that's an option too. So now you kind of decide, okay, what do I want where? In this kit, there was some, let's see here, some pieces, either like this. There is one like this with the angel going horizontally. There is this one. We can use these also for pockets or belly bands or little tuck spots if we want. So how I kind of look at it is, if you want to keep it all kind of the same, you put your music note pocket on your music note paper. I want to kind of switch it up, I feel. So we're going to do it on this page. And because I rounded the corner of my paper, I need to round the bottom of my pocket. Hopefully that's not going to cause me any issues. That looks good. And then this corner also, if you're not sure, hey, Judy, how are you? Lay it back on there and be like, yep, I need to do that one too. So now we're going to ink that little pocket. just like so. I was mentioning earlier, the dollar store really does have a lot of nice things that you can do to start out some journaling, like stickers and little packs of paper. They have some cardstock, you know, a little embellishing and all that kind of stuff. So you don't have to spend a lot to just kind of start. Little buttons, if you have those and you collect them, can be super pretty. Okay, so then as far as gluing goes, thank you, Rita. I'm just going to put a little bit on each one of these edges, but we're going to leave this top open because that is our pocket area. That's okay, sweet Phyllis. Love you too, my darling. Thank you for being here. All right, so back to our Fabri-Tac. I also will tell you, if you start paper crafting, and I'm kind of going more on the edge than I am the inside edge, we'll say. I don't want to go too close to the edge that's going to be pushed down. Just me. Hi, Mary. Nice to see you. Let's see. I believe we have music sheets in our Kofi too. The Painted Peach, right? Yes, that's where I got this one from. You will have a mess for one. Even if you start out nice and organized and clean on your crafty space, it's going to be a mess by the time you're done. You will have lost your scissors at least 10 times. Pieces that you were working on, you'll have lost. For whatever reason, I guess I printed 2 left side pockets. And I don't like that one there. I think it's okay there, so let's put it. Don't overthink too much. That can come later on when we get better at it, you know. Just going to round my corners there, which I forgot to do, and re-ink a little bit. And we're going to do that same thing. If you, you know, want to add other pages in, the scrapbook pages definitely work. But what I've been doing is, you know, like backing some of my tags and such. Yes, paper everywhere. Little schnibbles and all the stuff, right? Schnibbles of paper. So if I printed out my tags, for example, and I didn't put anything on the back of them, I could glue down some scrapbook paper if I wanted to have some kind of a different, you know, theme on the back. So that's always an option. So now we have another fun little pocket, and it's glued here, here, and here. So this part is open for us to put a tag in or whatever we want. Like example, or several tags, right? There's a tag that we can put in there. Mess is an understatement, right? You know, Stephanie, I had bought one of those little like metal rolling carts, if you want to call it that, from Michael's. This is also a pocket. I just see a little bit of white I want to trim off. We'll put these into. And let's corner cut them first. Thank you, Rosalind Hahn. And gift wrapping my scissors are permanently on a retractable lens. That's a really, really smart idea, actually. I thought whatever I can fit on this little cart is all I'm going to get for journaling, you know? And whatever I can't fit on there, I don't need. Well, let me just tell you, it's spewed over into more than just that cart. But you can buy little plastic cases, kind of containers at Hobby Lobby. Sometimes the dollar store has them to kind of separate out your ephemera and such. It's hard to stay organized, I will say. But you really wouldn't have to have a ton to get yourself started. So I will take a little bit of what's kind of left on my little sponge here and just go over the front if I want to tone that down a little bit. You're going to get ink on your fingers and your work surface. I use like a lemon essential oil to get it off, even if you get it on your nails. You can also use rubbing alcohol that takes it off really good. Hi, Edie. All right, so maybe I want to be a little different and put that on the music page. You could switch it up and put it there. Let's put them, I kind of like that. Let's put that on the music notes. Hi, Victoria. Is fully in place when I insert it. That's a really good suggestion, because oftentimes I find that I don't have it in there all the way in that little corner cutter. The next thing I need is a tiny little corner cutter for like the little ones, you know? So you're just kind of lining up the edges, the curved surfaces, and I have a little time to move it around if I need to. Yes, the photo cases, that's what it is, Lori. I have that one, and unfortunately, thank you, Jen. I dropped it recently, and I cracked a big hole in the case. So I'm quite upset about that. I had them, you know, I'm filling them all up, I'm labeling them and all the things, and I don't know what I did, but I dropped it and a big old hunk came out of it. All right, so you have a left and a right pocket. Doesn't look like I did a very good job cutting that one, but we're gonna make it work. I'm not gonna stress about it. Each time I think I do something or make one or learn something, you know, I can use it on the next time around, right? Then I did cut out one of these that was part of the kit. And let's say, let me just think here. Well, we could definitely deck one of these out with some ephemera, so that's really pretty. It's a lot of decision making, I will say. But I also kind of like that, even though our angel is turned on the side, I think she looks quite nice right there, and we can make that a little side pocket. No mistakes, right? Thank you, Denise. We have 5 minutes. Oh my gosh. In each other. Use the photo boxes, the pretty ones. Oh, that's a really good idea. I think I have some of those actually. All right, so let's corner cut the bottom here. Get in there. And then it is a little bit too long, and I have so much white showing, so I'm just going to trim it up a little bit. So I will be continuing with this on some of my next lives. So if you are kind of making this along with me, I would love for you to join me. And I'm going to girl measure it here. I just kind of fold it over where I need to cut. It did, didn't it? Oh my goodness. I hope you guys stay tuned in the Artist Lounge Marketplace for Teresa. She is up next. This is my little paper cutter here. So let's just trim that a little bit. And in fact, let's go longer instead of shorter, because I can always take more off, right? I don't think still I got that in there all the way. I might have to empty that out. Okay, let's kind of eyeball it here. So a little bit more off I can take with my little paper cutter over here. And just keep going. All right, that looks good. Cut this corner. Then let's ink that quick. So every month we have basically like a guest designer. January happened to be my month. And again, thank you, Sweet Mary, so very much for helping me. And the both of you, Corey and Mary, for putting together such beautiful kits. Rita, this comes from the link. It's a Ko-fi link. I don't know if you've heard of that. It was new to me when we first started all of this. It's the Artist Lounge Marketplace. I have it in the description of my live here today. But you would go to that Ko-fi link, which is in my link tree, and I will add it here to the live in the comments when we're done. I'm going to glue this in while I'm talking a little bit. This kit is called Blue Angel. All right, I didn't cut that perfect, but I'm okay with it. So to make a side pocket, we want this part open. So we're just going to put glue on the top, the side, and the bottom, not the inside part. Thank you, Sweet Mary, so much for having me. That's okay, Sweet Robbie. Measure twice, cut once, right? So I will put the link in there also for the Ko-fi shop, and you can check out the journal kits that are out there. There's many of them, as well as many other kits and papers and things that you can purchase. And they are digital downloads, so there's nothing that physically gets sent to you. Hey, Stephanie, darling. Thank you so much, Lena. Hello and welcome. Thank you for the stars. I appreciate it. All right, we're going to glue this down. And it's just the top, the side, and the bottom. So now, whatever we want to put in there, I even printed some larger pieces. We can actually tuck right in the side. That's kind of fun. Something a little bit different. So what we will work on next time we're together is more pockets, some belly bands. We'll kind of start adding some ephemera and things. I hope that I put this out in a way that you can understand what I meant. I'm real excited to keep working on it with you. It'll be a couple more lives for sure. It is 6 p.m. Central, so my time is up, guys. Whew, that time goes so quick. Thank you so much for joining me. Please stay tuned to the Artist Lounge Marketplace. If you are there, you should just be able to refresh your page and you will see Teresa next. And I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Thanks again for hanging out with me. Stay warm and safe, okay? Love you guys. Bye-bye.